I needed you, and I can't pretend like I don't feel this over and over again. I thought I could be okay without you in my days, but I was lying to myself. I don't want nobody else. I need you. I need you when I'm done hiding it, done fighting it, done denying it. Oh, I need you. And if you feel it too, then don't let go like I almost made you do. I told myself I wouldn't try, wouldn't let nobody get inside. I got used to being alone, made that feeling feel like home. Then you showed up out the blue. Now I don't know what to do. I'm falling in love again. Didn't think I would, didn't think I could, but here I am again. Oh, I'm falling in love again. Trying not to feel, but it feels too real, and I can't pretend. You don't rush, you don't force, you just let it take its course. And somehow that's what I needed, something real, something easy. I'm falling in love again. Even though I tried to leave love behind, it found me once again. I'm falling in love again. And I'm scared to lose, but I'm scared to choose to walk away again. I don't wanna mess this up, but I don't wanna give it up. If this is what love feels like, then maybe it's worth the fight. I'm falling in love again, and I'm letting go of what I used to know. I'm taking the chance again. I'm falling in love again. And if it breaks me too, at least I knew what it felt like again. Oh. Oh. I could meet you in the moment. I just couldn't hold it there. Something in the way I move never kept me fully present. You stayed close without effort. Never had to force your place. I kept drifting in and out of it without a trace. I wasn't trying to leave. I just didn't know how to stay. I didn't know how to stay near you, even when I wanted to. Something in the way I held things never followed through. You were steady in your presence. I kept slipping out of you. I didn't know how to stay near you. And I lost you. I didn't need you to be constant. Just needed you to remain. Something I could lean into without it pulling away. But something in the way you moved never stayed alive. Like I was reaching for something that wouldn't hold its light. I thought I was doing enough. I needed something that stayed. But something doesn't remain close if it keeps pulling away. I didn't know how to stay near you, even when I wanted to. Something in the way I held things never followed through. You were steady in your presence. I kept slipping out of you. I didn't know how to stay near you. I lost you. I didn't understand myself then. I felt it every day. It wasn't something I could make, but it pulled me away. Oh, I see it clearly now. Not everything that wants to stay knows how. You gave me something steady. Ooh, I couldn't do it too. I didn't know how to stay near you. And I lost you. You drifted, yeah, I did. Oh, there were moments I could have leaned in, could have met you where you stood, but I stayed inside what felt familiar instead of what I should. It wasn't something I announced, didn't frame it as a choice, just a pattern I kept following without hearing your voice. I told myself it wasn't that simple, but I made it that way. I chose what was easier than you. I see it clearly now. Not everything I held on to was worth holding down. You asked for something deeper. I stayed where it was smooth. I chose what was easier than you. And I lost you in the truth. I felt it in the way you stayed safe, in the things you wouldn't risk. Like loving me required something you kept trying to miss. I didn't need you to be perfect, just needed you to try. But something in the way you chose comfort let the moment pass by. I thought I was protecting myself. I thought you just didn't care. But something doesn't survive if you never meet it there. I chose what was easier than you. More than you. And I see it clearly now. Not everything I held on to was worth holding down. You asked for something deeper. I stayed where it was smooth. I chose what was easier than you. And I lost you in the truth. I didn't fight for the harder parts. I fell back from the start. I stayed where it didn't stress me. And that pulled us apart. And I kept.
Greetings to you. Just about the 1st of August, we would be having emancipation celebrations in Guyana. Of course, it is significant to the Afro-Guyanese community. And therefore, I understand the sentiments that it engulfs. But in the spirit of brotherliness, in the spirit of togetherness, unity, in the spirit of living as one, in the spirit of recognizing each other's struggles, it would be fitting if the African Cultural and Development Association of Guyana, ACDA, can postpone emancipation celebrations coming Saturday. That will be appropriate, and I'm sure that all Afro-Guyanese, the Afro-Guyanese community at home and abroad, would applaud such a move. So the emancipation celebration that is scheduled for Saturday, the 1st of August, should be postponed. Remember, we had the situation with COVID. A lot of these events, a lot of these activities had to be canceled. And that was a man-made crisis that forced that kind of imprisonment on humanity. It was not something that we can hold our governments responsible for. But yet we cooperated. We compromised for the greater good. And all of these events that was scheduled and that was a yearly calendar events were canceled during the years of COVID. They were canceled. Now we have something that merits that kind of value, attention, and profundity with our brothers and sisters who are mourning, those who are gone, those who are still submerged it would be nice if we can just cancel that. Welcome to the Uncensored Guyana show. I'm Dr. L. Prasad. In 2010, we had a situation where the MV Kimbia, for those of you who would recall, that was a major story. It was close to total devastation in 2010 under the then president. Before the elections, I think it was under Ramatar. During the time of the elections, the MV Kimbia had engine failure whilst en route to the northwest and was stuck in the river, loaded with passengers. Almost met that fate of last Saturday. It almost met that fate of last Saturday. Following that incident, 2010, that resulted in that as a result of the overworking of the engine, poor maintenance, it suffered engine loss, it suffered a lot of problems continuously until the boat refused to go further. And the wisdom of the captain then was to steer the boat at some point where it could not go further. And it was stuck there until help came, until they were able to tow the boat back to the port. But that boat almost suffered the same fate. And there were two boats that were plying that route, MV Kimbia and MV Barima. You see, why I mentioned that, why I take you back to that time. Our government now wasn't government then. Just after Jagdeo, then to Ramata, this happened. The minister that was responsible for the same department that Edgel is responsible was Robinson Ben. Robinson Ben was the Minister of Public Works and Transportation and Communication at the time. When this happened, 2010, I reiterate the wisdom of the captain, who is a veteran captain, Mr. Kingston, Gordon Kingston. In his wisdom, he saved the lives of hundreds of Guyanese at that time. Similar situation. That boat was taken out of service following that incident. Shortly after that, they put it back on the waters. Then in 2016, because of the continued problems with the same boat, they took it out of service, and at least for 3 years, they were busy trying to patch and fix until they bought new engines, totally new engines, and it returned and is currently in service. It is hard for me to admit, while the boat was taken out of service, who was the president at the time? Granger. This could have been solved in the years the PPP was in government, 2010, 2015. It had to take another government to fix that problem. This is not right. Fast forward to today. Countless issues have been reported and recorded with the MV Barima. Countless, too many, too much to mention. And what is even sadder is that the MV Kimbia was built in 1980. In 1980. And suffered all the issues it suffered in less than 30 years of its life. Besides that, we have the NV Barima, 87 years. If a boat that was built 1980 had continued problems 30 years on, and had to secure 2 brand new engines, years of repairs, almost 3 years off the water, out of service. Why wasn't the same passion, urgency, and interest invested in NV Barima since it is twice the age of MV Kimbia, twice the age? The MV Kimbia at the time was 30 years old. MV Barima at the time was 75 years old, but did not get the attention and the service like that of MV Kimbia that was secured under Barnum in the 80s. All of these missed opportunities, it's unfortunate that it happens, continue to happen under the People's Progressive Party governments. It is unfortunate. And on the ministers that are Afro-Guyanese. Robinson Ben, now Edgel. We can't sweep this under the rug. We can't propagandize this away. We can't hug and pictures and try to deflect posts this away. We can't do it. This is here to stay. This is here to stay. I want to emphasize and re-emphasize, the blame stops with Edgel. Juan Edgel, the blame stops with. We thank the universe that fatality did not befall NB Kimbia in 2010. We thank the universe because the minister who was responsible was Robinson Ben, another black man. When that tragedy happened, 2026, same government, same ethnicity, controlling the ministry. When tragedy strikes again, so what we're having here is a continued harassment and forced narrative, and no one takes the initiative to own this problem. Blame it on somebody else. Push it on the lower staff. Push it on the captain. Push it on the sailors, as if they are the policy makers, as if they hire themselves, as if they're the ones who actually make recommendations to the Minister of Government. I've said it again, I'm saying it again. I've said it before, I'm saying it again. From the captain to the crew are hustlers for a few dollars more. A private sector business who may have had a transportation service like that may have paid the captain twice the salary and the crew twice the salary they're currently receiving. When you underpay these professionals, these laborers that have to sacrifice their lives at sea in a voyage that takes practically the whole day, in a voyage that takes practically 24 hours, for the ridiculous salary and benefits they're getting, and you expect them to be circumspect, to ignore the bribery? Don't blame them. This is recurring issues. It seems like the government under the People's Progressive Party has very poor oversight. Very poor oversight. This is like the colonialist. You take possession of a country and you divide it. You take that, you take that, you take that, do what you want with it. No accountability, nobody to look over you. You report to no one but yourself. After all, at the end of the day, if a problem comes, we have to hold one head. Because if one go down, all go down. Colonialist mentality, colonizers. The way they divide the world, divide territories, divide continents. So it seems like that's what's happening with Guyana and these ministries. They colonize whichever area they operate. So the Ministry of Public Works colonized public infrastructure. So the minister, he is emperor. He's Lord Almighty. He can do whatever he wants and nobody to tell him otherwise. No oversight, no control, nobody to pull him up because he is indispensable. The same as the former. 2 terms he served, just like this one now. And why shouldn't we hold the system accountable? Why shouldn't we hold the system accountable? I don't want to hear about what the opposition is trying to do. At the end of the day, the government is looking bad. The opposition don't have to do that. They themselves by their actions, by their lack of responsibility, their lack of accountability, they are making themselves look bad. People aren't idiots to listen to what opposition have to say. Guyanese are smart. They're looking, they're seeing, they're observing, they're paying attention, they're making comparisons. They see the incompetence and the blatant disrespect. Blatant disrespect. This is not the time to harass anybody. This is the time where the president himself, President Irfan Ali, you yourself should own up to this. Take responsibility. But because the ministers can't apologize, or you, Mr. President, can't apologize, it shows weakness. For you to apologize to the people that voted for you shows weakness, that you're not a strong man, you are weak. To tell your citizens you're sorry for the incompetence of your minister. You're not perfect. Your ministers might screw up. It doesn't mean that you screwed up. It means that you made a mistake. You made a mistake. You give this man, the same man that messed up in the first 5 years, the opportunity to correct his mistakes, and he made it worse. He murdered people. So what to do now? What is the right position to take now? Continue covering shit up? Continue making excuses? Continue putting this man to face the public? Listen to Mark Phillips, the Prime Minister. Listen to Mark Phillips. If an election is called tomorrow, with this incompetent team that you have, President Ali, with this incompetent, cruel, selfish, self-centered, arrogant cabinet that you have, Mr. President, if an election is called tomorrow, I will support the opposition. Not you. Because this is wrong. The whole world see it is wrong. The minister should have been gone a long time. Ejel should have been gone a long time. He should be in fucking lockup in the prison. He should be where he belongs. That idiot. You killed the people. You, Ejel, you, Juan Ejel, you killed the people. Because you know that boat wasn't fit. So many people reported that. It was public knowledge. But you see those Amerindians, you see those people from the northwest as third-class citizens. Imagine a nigger is seeing other people as third-class citizens. Can't you understand what we suffered as a people? I'm talking black people in general. Haven't you no remorse, no feeling for another race? That you are given the opportunity to lift the lives of those people, not with your resources, not with funds from your church, not with donations from whoever it is that sends you tithes and offerings, but the people's own money. You couldn't invest it for their own lives, their benefit, and the betterment of them. Because what? Because they're Amerindians? You think because you're a nigger, you're better? Emancipation is coming up. Why do you think they're celebrating emancipation? Why do you think they're observing emancipation and remembering the atrocities that their forefathers suffered under the white man? And now, because you are free, you are a minister of government, all these people under you are directors and managers, it means that they're better than the indigenous people? That you couldn't deliver a better service for a people that has been crying out for fucking years. For years, they've been crying out for better service. 2010, one broke down in the river, broke down in the ocean, could have capsized also. The wisdom of Mr. Kingston saved those people's lives. 2010. Look the years following that. Look the years following that. And still, that route cannot be served with new boats. So many happened on the Ben and now you, and still same PPP government. These things happen under the PPP, not APNU. Under the PPP, it happened. You people know of the risk. You know of the problem. You know exactly what needed to be done. And the first opportunity you had, you choose to buy boats to party on. A bishop, you're supposed to be a man of God. You're serving as a government minister, but you should not be party to these activities. You're a man of God. You're renting ships for secular people, immoral people, to have immoral activities, drugs and sex and all of that on a sacred vessel that was intended to serve your voters. It's parked. Can't use it. Nothing is wrong with it, but you can't use it. You know, you are fully aware, because all of these things are public knowledge. Public knowledge. The country knows. So if anybody comes with sacrificial theory, they're right. This is wrong, man. This is absolutely wrong. And all fingers are pointed at President Irfan Ali. You are the chief. You are the chief. Fingers are pointed at you. And the fact that you are inactive and you have not benched this arrogant fool, he's still on the job, still Minister of Public Works, it means that you are incapable of acting, President Ali. 100 and something lives lost. They can't even recover. Most buried under the sea, buried with the ship that should have been decommissioned years ago. This is why you have to take responsibilities. You rent the fucking new boat for a bunch of idiots to party on while you sacrifice your citizens, your voters, you sacrifice their lives, man. It's wrong. It's wrong. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck who's offended. I don't give a shit who's offended. It's wrong. You kill those people. All that money. All that money. Are you coming and saying the boat costs 12 million? 12 million? Countries with no wealth like Guyana have better services for their citizens, better, with no wealth like Guyana, provide better, more secure, more modernized services for their citizens. You think if the Northwest District was predominantly black, like Linden, if that was another Linden, you think the Afro-Guyanese would have sit by idly and see the shithole services the government had offered them? They wouldn't have. That would have been changed a long time. Those boats would have been replaced years ago. You think if the East Indians of Guyana had lived in that district, you think the government could have given them that shitty service to put them and their lives, their children's lives, and their families' lives at risk at sea? They wouldn't risk it. They wouldn't dare that disrespect. They wouldn't dare that. But because majority are Amerindians, their lives don't matter. The Amerindian minister is a waste of time, a low fucking energy waste of time, a fucking pimp. The Amerindian minister, yes, in Ramatar time and now in Ali's time. They are useless pimps, fucking pimps, pimping their people, lying to their people, deceiving their people while they pocket most of it. All of them should go. Every one of them. The Minister of Amerindian Affairs, the Minister of Kwan Edgel, Minister Indar, all of them should be fired. Every one of them. Fucking this is a disgrace, man. This is an international disgrace. It's not as if we are broke. One of the richest countries now. One of the richest countries now. No wonder people are angry with your farm, Mr. President. No wonder people are angry. Because look at the comparison. A farm that is alleged to cost $5 billion in a short time, a simple boat that is less than $1 billion can be replaced in 6 years. Oh, not 6 years, 16 years. If we should go back to 2010, look at the time span. And could not source 2 new boats that are designed for this time, this climate. They couldn't source that in all that time. 26 years, they could not source it. Only to have in 2026, 26 years, in the year 2026, to sacrifice over 100 women, men, and children. And you're coming every fucking day on social media or the television, continuing lying, blaming somebody. You think the public gives a shit who you arrest? Which sailor you arrest? You think people give a shit about that? You think people care about seeing your pictures with you fake hugging people that nobody knows who they are? Or pretending to comfort the relatives? Nobody cares. What we care about and what we want is to have all these people, to have the Minister of Amerindian Affairs fired. The Amerindian community should protest to have her removed. Have her removed. She doesn't have your interest. It's better you put an Indian or a black person as Amerindian Affairs Minister because your own kind fucked you up. My Amerindian brothers and sisters, your own kind sell you out. Ask for her to be replaced. And I think it's very racial. I think it's racist to have a Minister of Amerindian Affairs, an Amerindian person. It's racist. If you are a government that serves all the people, a Minister of Amerindian Affairs don't have to be an Amerindian because you serve one government. But continually, this is what's happening. It's being stereotypical and it's profiling and it's an insult. It should stop. Put the right people for the right job. You don't have to be the same person that looks this way. And the same thing with the Ministry of Public Works. Throughout consecutive governments, you're putting a black man. Why? Because the blacks are the working class. So the Minister of Public Works should be a black man because it identifies the whole stereotypicalness with black people being the working class. Since when you got a memo, Mr. President, or PPP, since when you got a memo that the Minister of Public Works must be a black man? Did the Afro-Guyanese told you that? Did they tell you that they want this ministry to head, a black man to head? Did they tell you that? It's being racist. You need competent people, regardless. Could be a Chinese, could be an Amerindian, could be an Indian, could be anybody, but you need competent people. And so far, from Ben to Egil, bad choices. Bad choices. It almost happened with Ben and it happened with Egil. Death at sea. So many days. It's going to be 7 days tomorrow since this incident. Nothing substantial from the government. Nothing. And if it is true, I've noticed something circulating on I've seen it on social media, where some of the survivors are being handed out substandard materials when prior to them being subjected to this disaster, their lives had a certain pride. Now they're being treated like dogs, giving the scraps. If it is true, it better not be true. Because like I said, the money in the treasury that is earned by the country is not a personal account for anybody in the cabinet of the president, neither the president himself. That money belongs and must be spent towards the betterment of the Guyanese citizens. If you are going to offer something to a Guyanese citizen, especially in this distressful time, don't give them substandard material or substandard service. The least you can do is try to make them not remember their life before this incident. Because if their lives were here and you're treating them here, it's going to be traumatic for them to think that had the government acted faster to prevent this tragedy, they don't have to settle for this nonsense that they're getting from the government. They could have been going and coming in safety. But now they've lost everything, most of them, all their belongings. Don't give them that. Treat them with dignity, with respect. Because when one of us is hurt, all of us feel it. We all feel what the others are feeling. Don't disrespect our citizens. I came across a speech. I did not listen to the whole thing. It made me remember back in the day, as a teenager in school, I wanted to ask a girl out. So I wrote a poem on a paper, and when I approached her, I took the paper and was reading it to her. And she said to me then, "Speak from the heart as if you mean it." So what do you mean? She says, "Don't read it, because somebody could have written that for you. You want to talk to me, if you want me to read, you want to write to me, you could just send it. But you're here right now, just talk." As young as I was, I learned something then. When you speak from the heart, you're not judged. You don't have to be right in terms of perfect speech. Because words are sounds. Language is a sound. It's just processed in this vowel way, but it's a sound. And your brain can filter the sound. When you hear a baby's crying, When you listen to people crying, music, you respond differently to certain songs. When it is from the heart, it's always true. You can lie from your mind, but not your heart. At this time, in one of the worst water tragedy that Guyana experienced, or the Caribbean for that matter, you politicians now that are going and making speeches, drop the paper, turn off the teleprompter, and speak from your heart. Let the people see your true nature. Speak from the heart. You are still human. You pretend that you're not human, but you're still human. You want to console a grieving audience. You want to give solidarity to a country that's in mourning. Don't read from a paper. Let it come from the heart. Feel what you are saying. Feel it. Enough with the speech writers. This ain't the campaign. This ain't being politically correct. This is one human to another. Then we see how serious and meaningful and trustworthy and transparent you are when you speak from the heart. You're going to console people. You're going to talk on these nights of mourning and all these events. Drop the paper. Nobody says the president needs a teleprompter to comfort anybody. These are your people, Mr. President, that you have interacted with before you became minister, before you became president. You talk one-on-one with them. Now you need a perfect speech that's written to talk to people who don't give a shit. I'm sorry. I understand. I feel you. We were wrong. We screwed up. We can't bring back the dead. We'll do better. No fancy language and no performance and no fake tears. We don't want that. We dropped the script. And like I said before, Mark Phillips, it is better you especially lose the script. You keep embarrassing yourself every time you try to read from a script and speak. Lose the script. Tensions are high. Everybody is sensitive. And don't blame the opposition. This isn't a competition. Guyanese are not distracted. Guyanese know what the climate was before this incident. They're not sucked into this world and they've forgotten everything that happened a week ago. But this is where the focus is. The focus is in recovering dead relatives. The focus is in putting to rest. The focus is in making sure, not by words or on paper or signing some nonsense, that this never happens. It never happens again. That's what the focus should be. Not competing with no opposition leader. Let the man do what he has to do. Your focus is serving the people that voted for you. And as a Guyanese, as a nation, we collectively mourn this crisis. There are lots of people who have lost relatives, not only the people from the Northwest District, all over the country. The West Coast, the East Coast, Essequibo Coast, Berbice, the whole country lost people in this tragedy. So don't use our resources to attack opposition leader or any opposition faction. Do what you need to do. I'm also shocked with the military and disappointed with them. Sorry, I should have my servette, but I always forget it when I come. Anyway, all of these inconsistencies. You have a military, an army that has always been neglected. Consecutive governments have always neglected the Guyana Defense Force. Always. PPP did, PNC did, always neglected the Guyana Defense Force. The Guyana Defense Force is like a security form. Guards for hire. They have nothing, absolutely nothing. It's a shame. We like to make comparisons, but make comparisons with our Caribbean brothers and sisters. Look at how they manage their people. Look at the defense capabilities of other countries in CARICOM, just in CARICOM. Look at Guyana. Look at Guyana. The military alone should have had the capabilities, the expertise to be on the ground, underwater, under the water, to rescue our people. The military should have had the capabilities to repair those ships, to procure those ships, to even build those ships. The military should have had the capabilities. What are you using the military for? What are you using the military for? Just to guard all the people who have concessions in the interior, gold and wood concessions? They're there to guard them, their businesses. Such a massive tragedy, and the military has no helicopters. It makes me think about what happened to the Bell helicopter that killed our servicemen, the accident that they alleged to have happened. Oh, it's the weather. It made me think, now I have to change my thinking pattern as to if the helicopter itself was poorly maintained, poorly serviced, and it just fell out of the sky because it couldn't propel anymore. It was weak against nature, just like the boat. Weak against nature. So it just fell out of the sky. And the men who were on the helicopter, their deaths made them heroes. Was that a distraction in not taking accountability for the deaths of those servicemen in a helicopter that, it's my opinion, that faced a similar fate like MV Barima? How long was that helicopter in service? How many years? Are we now going to consider all the persons who perished on that sad Saturday heroes? Are we going to name a road after them? What is the next move? This is happening too much under the People's Progressive Party Civic. It is personal for me because I have lost family members, supporters, loyalists, friends over the years because of my exclusive stand with the PPP. People thought I turned a blind eye. They thought I don't care about the truth or about Guyanese. They thought I was willing to say anything to make the PPP look good. That's how much it cost me. And never once, you motherfuckers never thanked me. Never once. For the sacrifices I have made. Never once you ever thanked me. And you want me to continue to lie, to ignore the facts, to ignore the people in this tragedy? You want me to continue? No, I wouldn't. Enough is enough. I am saying these things are happening too much under the PPP. This is not just Irfan Ali. Too much. It's a policy issue. You keep putting the wrong people in the right position. You can't expect different results. And you are not willing to discipline these people. Look at what happened, President Ali. Pre-election, the Guyanese public complained about unfinished contracts, unfinished this, unfinished that. They complain. The same way they have complained about the MV Barima. They have complained about MV Barima. They have complained about MV Barima. The same way they complain. And what they get? Promises. Now they get disaster. We don't want any more promises. We need actions. We need actions. Because this is not going to be forgiven. This is not going to be forgiven. Guyana lost many souls. It goes deep. Politicians are not better than anybody else. They're not. I hate the images I see online with this, the nights of mourning. In the front fucking row are the culprits. The front row. The people who are responsible for keeping Guyanese safe occupies the front row, presenting themselves as saints and saviors, wanting people to tune in and listen to what they have to say. Nobody will. Nobody's interested in anything none of you have to say, because it can't change the situation. This incident has a history of recurring. MV Barima has a whole log sheet of complaints. Everybody in the Northwest District knows about the faults of that boat. Everybody. For decades, they have complained. You knowingly caused the deaths of my people. Ejil, you knowingly caused the deaths of my people. Because of your greedy personality. And all you give out is arrogance. You're pompous. That's all you give out. That's your remorse. That's your apology. Not to own up, but to see who you can blame. Captain was drinking. Crew was drinking. You think they swear? You think they steered that boat into that point there, the danger point? You think they did that? They were so drunk that they had issues with their partner and they wanted to just sacrifice everybody. They're tired with life. Yeah, but they're still alive. So they just steered the boat off course into the most dangerous parts of the river, hoping it would sink. That is the narrative you idiots want people to think. That narrative. That these men drove these people to their deaths. That is the narrative. All your excuses, all of what you're trying to say, It comes down to that. It's not my fault. It's the captain and the crew. We didn't know the boat was overloaded because of the manifest. It says it was to capacity. So anything that happened after that, we are clear. This cleared the government. This cleared Bishop Edgel. This cleared the Morad people, the morons. Yeah, the morons, it cleared them. The document is here. We're not responsible, but we're going to try to pretend like we care. Give some money and hope that this goes away so we can get back to fleecing the people. It ain't going away. And there is no getting back from this. You know, the ship was in a bad state. And you should pay for that. You're fully aware of it. I said if the bishop and his crew is not gone by today, we should go out and hold countrywide protest, not vigil. Protest. This is not an Amerindian calamity, disaster. This is a Guyanese tragedy. A Guyanese tragedy. That's what it is. So we should go out in our numbers around the country and call for the immediate arrest and resignation. Make it a little bit ghetto. Firing of Kwan Edgel, Minister Indar. Yes, Minister Indar. All the people from the Morad, the morons, all of them. Because this is not something that just developed over the past year. This is something that happened years ago. The problem started. All they do is fixing. And the amount of money these greedy motherfuckers have access to, the amount of billions, the most you can do is target places where you can get some publicity, build a massive hotel, build a few kilometer roads because people can notice that. And still all of these massive roads are still taking lives. People are killing themselves on these roads. But that is the focus for the past 6 years. And in the 6 years, you could not use our money to buy us a boat. Well, in fact, you did, over the price that the actual thing cost. But we didn't benefit from it. We didn't use the boat, not even once. It's bigger, it's faster, it's sturdier, it's modernized. It could have reduced the time it takes to get to that distance. Instead of a whole day, maybe 12 hours, it could have shortened the time significantly, that people don't have to practically live on the boat, make breakfast, lunch, and dinner on the boat because of the time it takes from Georgetown to the Northwest. You took all of that from our citizens. You have these boats just parked in the city, waiting for the next jam zone, whatever, to rent it out. While human beings are subjected to an old, broken down, broken engine, slow boat to take 1 day on sea in massive waves and current, overladen, to go to the next point. What is the MV Kimbia doing now? The MV Kimbia, what is she doing? Transporting cargo. Cargo, not people. You put human beings on a broken ship, but you put cargo on the good one. Yeah. Supplies are more valuable than humans. You don't mind sacrificing a few souls as long as the goods and material don't go in the sea. So you put the expensive stuff that cost a lot of money to private businesses, you give them the other boat. Not new, but at least it can transport their luggage safely. But people, instead of using that boat, Kimbia, to transport the people, and since you still want to work MV Barima until it is broken, you should have let the goods and the cargo and the trucks and whatever it is go on that one. So if it had sunk, lives would not be lost. These trucks and these cars, they're insured. They shall recover it from insurance. Who insured the lives of these people? Are they covered with insurance? Did the government insure their lives so when they're gone, the breadwinner for the family, the mother who provides for her children, the father who provides for his family, when they are gone in this strategy now that you caused, which insurance is going to compensate the relatives that are left behind? Which insurance? Is a one-off payment, a one-time payment, and then after this money is done, they starve for the rest of their lives. They have to struggle because the breadwinner was killed because of your fucking negligence? Which insurance? MV Kimbia is still working, transporting people's goods. But the one you give to transport human beings was a suicide mission waiting to happen. Well, it happened. And people should not be outraged, angered. I should help to blind people's eyes from your incompetence. As you have seen, I'm not doing that. So what I would like to see, right now, let's talk business. Right now, let's talk business. Since it's not your money, Mr. President, no more empty promises. No more empty promises. We want to see the bishop arrested. We want to see all those morons from Marad arrested. We need proper justice. We need proper justice. Get them out of the way. That will be a start. The next thing that I personally would like to see is every person on or off the manifest. Because them being on the ship, the persons who came on the ship did not stow away. They were allowed entry. Your employees, government, allowed them access and entrance to the ship. The boat was allowed to overload because somebody hired by you allowed it. Nobody stole any point there. Nobody sneaked their way on the ship. Nobody did. So be their name on the manifest or of the manifest, you are still responsible for their lives. You are still responsible for their lives. Everybody falls under you. From the janitor to the manager falls under you. They receive a direct government salary that comes via the Ministry of Public Works. Everybody. So all the persons that can be accounted for, dead and alive, survivors and who is yet to be recovered. Every single individual, Mr. President, Guyanese would like to see those people compensated. Not $1 million, not $5 million. Every one of them should receive 10 million Guyana dollars each. Multiply 10 million by 179 if that is your count, if that is your last official count. 10 million by 179 individuals, dead and alive, must receive 10 million per person. So the mother of whom you took her 6 children, everybody should receive 10 million. That's the least you can do. 10 million, all the victims individually must receive that compensation. Nothing less. Nothing less. It is your negligence. You are responsible for the debts, and you should pay. Guyanese have no issues with that because the money belongs to the taxpayers. Guyana is a multi-trillionaire country. A multi-trillionaire country, Guyana is. And the fact that you are treating the citizens like some third-class, low-life scums, it's a disgrace. It is a disgrace. Guyanese deserve better. For the money the country is earning, the services must be better. And the government control these public transportation. Come on, man, that's the best you can do with our money? That's the best you can do with our money? If you can't manage the transport sector, privatize it. Privatize it. Let private investors invest their money, and then you can blame them if they're not providing quality service for Guyanese. I am sure, I am convinced that if the Transport and Harbors Department, if Barima was a private vessel transporting people to and fro, the government would have rained fire on the company that is operating that vessel. Guyanese would have gone to the company's headquarters and put fire to the building. Guyanese would have been out protesting the government to arrest the owners of that company if MV Barima was belonging to a private company and this had happened. You don't want to imagine the chaos. But it belongs to the government. The government owns the boat. The government controls everything that happens to the boat. All the staff, all the departments are controlled by the government, with who has direct oversight and authority is the bishop. He calls whoever he has to call and give orders. Quan Edgel. So why aren't we outraged at this man the way we would have been at a private ownership? Or are you forgetting the Adriana case? You saw what you did to that man's hotel? You saw what you did to that man's hotel. For one child who suffered in the pool. You see what you did to that neighborhood. We have a boat owned by the government who knew it was incapable, not seaworthy. They know that. They knew that. And all those people and those who are still in the water, they are still in the water. And you're waiting for answers. You're sitting around accepting the lies that are coming out of the lips of that filthy man, Edgel. What are you waiting for? Demand justice. Demand justice. What are you waiting for? It has to be a level playing field. We can't accept this. It almost happened 2010. It happened 2026. Incompetence must have a place, and it should not be in the government. 2 helicopters are not working. Can't serve no purpose. You have to get private people to come and help, other countries to come and help, leave their ports to come and help when those countries are not as rich as Guyana. They are not as rich as Guyana, but they still come and help. We could find money to build 300 houses in Jamaica. We budget money quick, which I supported. 300 houses within months in another country. And to service your voters. It's almost 26 years and they still can't get a usable boat. 26 years, still can't find the money. You need a country to lend you money to buy a boat for your citizens. But you can take money from the treasury to build some houses in Jamaica. But you need a loan to buy a boat for your own citizens. We must protest against this. Enough is enough. I can't tolerate this. I can't support this. I am calling for actions. I want the people of Guyana to stand up for their brothers. Their brothers. This isn't an Amerindian thing. Those men in the helicopter who crashed, they were the highest level in the military. Why did it crash? We need to upgrade, not to recycle. We need to improve the lives of our people. The safety of our people must come first. At air, land, and sea must come first. No more second hand. No more second hand. We don't want this whole talking, a thorough, comprehensive investigation so that this would never happen again. That's what they said many times ago. It's always comprehensive that it won't happen again. And every time it happens, it's bigger. It's more devastating. Do we have to always change governments to get different results? Do we have to always change governments to get different results? Why can't the same government behave itself, listen to the people, and deliver better for the people? I'm calling for Guyanese to go on the streets and demand the arrest, firing of Kwan Edgel and all the morons from Morad, all the people who have contributed due to their negligence, their racism, to the deaths of all of these people, we need to stand up and fight. If the president wouldn't act, we need to act. Whatever reason the president is being political, he's afraid of them, then we have to show the government that we're not afraid of them because we put them there. I helped secure massive votes for the PPP. I helped. So I have the authority to say what I'm saying. I contributed to the massive win for the People's Progressive Party. President Ali's re-election, I contributed massively to that. So I have the authority to say what I'm saying. Nobody's ever done me a favor. I did favors. So I need accountability for my citizens. I need accountability for my citizens. They are not poor people. They are not ordinary people. They are Guyanese people. So are you, President Ali. So are you, Ejel. So are you, Barjaglio, Guyanese. You just happen to hold these public offices because we made it possible for you to hold the offices. So do good by us. We need justice. Start by getting rid of Bishop. We don't want to see his face anymore. I said it before. Let him recuse himself. Get out of the way. Try somebody else. Don't excuse this and hope that this is going to go away. Then by next month, people forget about this. Is that how you value these lives? You're hoping that people forget about this in another few weeks? You think they're going to leave those people there? Every soul has to be recovered. Everyone, no matter how long it takes, has to be recovered. There's no calling off search and rescue. There's no leaving that ship at the bottom of the ocean. Every soul must be recovered. In the meantime, the living wants to know that justice is served. They will be satisfied that their relatives sacrificed wasn't taken for granted. They need that assurance. They need that justice. And it must be delivered quickly. The parliament is convening on Monday. I hope it's not to discuss a bunch of bullshit and presidential pension and all that fucking nonsense. I hope it's not for that. I hope it ain't convening parliament for that shit. This is the only thing that matters right now. The only thing that matters right now. If you need the parliament to remove the minister, if you need the parliament to do whatever it is, then fine, go ahead. But that is weakness on your part, President Ali. That is weakness. Because if the parliament has to convene and then they have to put a no confidence motion to remove the bishop, and we very well know that the PPP has 36 seats. In no way they're going to vote to remove the bishop. They ain't going to do it. And that will be more devastating for the government and the People's Progressive Party civic. Because the Guyanese will see what a great mistake they made. If all of you can say that parliamentary people need to stick together, and you don't show your humanity for the people who put you there, that you're not going to side with the country to say that this man must be removed. If the president don't do it, the parliament should do it. You're making it absolutely clear that you don't give a fuck. You want to keep your colleague there because maybe he serves your purpose as well. Maybe all of you benefit from Ejel being the Minister of Public Works. All of you. Who knows how many contractors we have in the parliament? How many businessmen we have in the parliament that needs Ejel's services as Minister of Public Works? Who knows? If he is gone, and somebody else goes there who might be a little more less corrupt, it would be bad for a lot of you. So I would anticipate that you may not want to vote to get him out. All we have is the character of the president that we put there. His character we have. So if he cannot do it, and it has to go to the parliament, you leave us no choice, Mr. President. You leave us no choice. And you will find out what that choice is if you don't act in the interest of Guyanese. Stop the blaming. Edgell must take responsibility. He is a nasty, corrupt, selfish, arrogant bastard. And he should go. Let me just say this for the record. Again, a lot of you in the comment section, I think you are so ill-informed and to some extension stupid that you really don't follow me the way you should. Because you hear what you want to hear from the beginning, you assume that I have to, regardless of what the government does, I have to always have one direction, make the government look good. You're wrong. I never promised that. Never. I said, because of my history with President Ali as a person, long before he's in this whatever, that is what motivated me to stand by him in his election pursuit, in his political career. That and only that. And that is years ago. There is a vast amount of years that was missing to now that I can't account for. If he changed over that time, it's not my fault. But it would not change my memory, my experience that I've had before. The Ali that is now is not the Ali I knew then. All my recollections, all my inspiration, all my books, it takes a positive turn and was consistent. But I've never been hired by anybody from the PPP, nobody, to make them look good. Not the president, not a councillor, no one. They have never in any way or at any time written a check with my name on it. So I don't have any fucking organic right or duty to give 100%, regardless of what they do, support to them. I don't. I chose to be a Jaganite, and that has nothing to do with me turning a blind eye to the inconsistencies. And now, this situation, you still want me to say things that makes whoever look good? And because you can't hear that, you want to attack me? You think I flip or I switch or Muhammad got to me or PNC got to me? You are fucking disrespectful. You motherfuckers are fucking disrespectful. You are dogs. Just because I'm standing with my people, just because I feel for my people, just because I'm suffering with my people, and I call a spade, you want to attack me because you think I'm selling on the PPP? Fuck the PPP.